Well, it looks like Ubisoft is in trouble again, and it may not be entirely their fault for a change, but a one-sided Torii gate, something that's very broken, may have broken their relationship completely with Japan. We're going to talk about it on That Game Plays. Coming to the stage is Pure Arts to rework Assassin's Creed's Shadow statue featuring Yasuke and Naoi on destroyed Torii Gate after massive backlash. And as predicted, our final party member has arrived. It is the amazing Kabuto Man.
Happy birthday, Space Dave. Happy birthday, Space Dave. That's all I got.
Thanks.
I'm surprised you were able to crawl out of your rage cocoon today, Spence.
Don't even get me started. Oh my, like don't even, Marvin. Marvin, do not saw that Simu Lu story at like midnight and from your tag, and I was like, I could go to bed. But I'm not going to bed. I'm too angry now.
My favorite thing about Spencer, one of many wonderful things about it, my friend Spencer here, is how much he hates Simulu. It's nonstop entertaining.
Get him out of my face.
Well, he's in Canada, dude. He's a ways away from you.
He's not. He keeps coming over here and taking American acting jobs. Like my friend Jacob always says, we're building the wall on the wrong border.
Whoa. Might be true, actually.
All right. Well,
politics. Canadians keep coming in and taking our entertainment jobs.
They took our jobs.
Hey, if we're better at it, what can I say? I mean, come on.
Hey, okay, Spencer. Politics aside, and speaking of walls, we're talking about a gate right now. This Torii gate situation with this figurine that's culturally insensitive. This is a destroyed Torii gate that got a lot of people mad, right?
Ubisoft.
I mean, look.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Torii gate.
But I also disagree though with your opening assertion that everybody knew this was offensive. Like I didn't even know that this was an offensive thing until this happened. Right.
Oh, okay. Well, they've been talking about it now for the better part of 4 weeks, I think.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is I didn't know that a one-armed Torii gate was offensive until this happened. So like to say everybody knew it. No, I don't agree with that sentiment.
So it's the destroyed Torii gate that's the offensive part, right? Not just having the Torii gate.
Because of the dropping the bomb in World War II.
There is one specific Torii gate in Japan that is a symbol to them of the resilience of the country following the bombings, and it's one single Torii gate, and I don't think anybody knew about it. I don't like this. To me, wasn't them going, "Oh, I'm intentionally going to do this." It was just them being stupid.
They have a $1 billion company and all of these employees to make sure that what they're doing isn't. So, see, this is the thing. Ubisoft can stare and tout that they've got all these people, all these historians, all this stuff, and that we're supposed to trust them, that they know what they're doing and they're accurate, but then they miss something like this because they don't care. They don't care. They don't look into anything. They just go, oh, look, that's neat. It's like that scene in Jurassic Park where she's like, you've got these plants that have been extinct for millions of years. Most of them are poisonous, but you pick them because they look good. It's the same incompetency.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, though, it's more troublesome to somebody like me from stepping back from the business side of things. I mean, everything you're saying is 100% on point, and I'm sure Spencer would agree with you. But I'm telling you right now, you have a company that's supposed to be incredibly woke, has gone ultra woke. They're like proto woke. They are the end all be all of woke. And they have sensitivity readers, and they have local experts that they've paid, like you've suggested, zillions of dollars to, and everything else. And yet they didn't see this coming. That's kind of weird. Like I said, I would have expected more. But their particular comment, or Pure Heart's comments, is as such. We recently released an insensitive design. We appreciate and have learned from the concerns brought to our attention, and we've apologized for the harm this has caused. After reading and processing the feedback, we have immediately returned to the drawing board, and we are currently reworking the design of the Collector's Assassin's Creed Shadows Yasuke and Naoi. So they're working on it. So, and this is the post right here. So let's see. What does that mean for people who already pre-ordered them? Are you canceling all of them? I personally haven't noticed anything wrong with the design. Pure Heart says pre-orders have not been canceled and you will receive an email soon with more information. So in other words, we want to keep your money, but you're not going to get the design that you ordered. Right? Am I reading that wrong?
Mm-hmm. No, you're not reading that wrong.
Okay. So
not at all.
It's
pretty false advertising. Or?
It's pretty wild. And here's the whole reason that everybody's upset, for good reason. I mean, again, there are items of cultural pride in every country. And this one, as Spencer pointed out, it's quite brilliantly and eloquently that this is kind of a national symbol for them. Not kind of, it is a national symbol for them. And, you know, ultimately, it means something. So hopefully, you know, companies are more sensitive in the future. But then, you know, that brings me around to the statement that I made just a moment ago. Is this Ubisoft's fault with all of their professionals, or is this Pure Heart's just innocent mistake? I don't know. Spencer, I kind of want your opinion on this since you kind of were driving the bus on it.
I mean, to me, I genuinely feel like this is just a genuine mistake. I mean, look, for example, to go back to that Simu Liu story that Marvin and I were talking about. Yeah. In that story, there is a moment where, this entire incident with him and this boba tea cultural appropriation thing, you guys in the crowd can go check it out for yourself. It's kind of long and convoluted, but basically at one point after Simu Liu calls them out for cultural appropriation, that one of his fellow panelists goes, well, here's the thing. They have been in conversations with their distributors in Taiwan the entire time. If this is the first time they've ever had somebody say something about cultural appropriation, how can you put that on them? That is sort of where I'm going here, is that they're clearly going for a battle damage, like we're in the moment, we're in the action sort of look with it. Yes, obviously, like Loki said, they have all these sensitivity people. Nobody there, like you said, Culture, this is such a woke company that the second, if anybody had gone, this might be offensive, they would have canned it immediately. So to me, this means nobody brought it up until it got out into public. And that happens sometimes, right? Yeah. I'm not sitting here defending this company, defending Ubisoft and saying everything they're doing is great, but I'm also not rushing to pick up my pitchfork, right? Because again, this situation also sort of exposes another one of the hypocrisies in our spheres right now, which is, oh, this is so offensive, you need to change it. You're false advertising. Oh, this is so bad. But we complain when other people do that. If it's an artistic intent, why are we complaining this time, right? Like, I understand the cultural aspect of it, but it is a weird question to me because I don't see this as intentional. And now I feel like we're going, oh, look, they were offended. That's good because they're on our side. So we can use this offense to our advantage. When if this was the other way around,
I need to inject.
This is ridiculous.
I have to interject. So I agree with everything Spencer is saying. I think it's an honest mistake. I don't think it is something that should be given this amount of vitriol. However, I subscribe to the old saying, pity not the arsonist who burns in their own flame. And this company F's around, and this company just found out. Okay, so you can't pearl clutch and virtue signal and put yourself out there as this paragon company and then turn around and make a mistake like this. You can't. Correct. Because people are going to jump all over your butt, and they should.
And to add,
Sorry,
to throw another log on the fire with what Marvin was saying, everybody is too sensitive now, period. Yeah. Okay, Ubisoft wants to be sensitive. They want to go, oh my God, how dare you talk about Yasuke? Oh no, how dare you say that this person wasn't in Japan? Oh, how dare you say anything about our historians? How dare you do this? How dare you do that? We're so sensitive to everything everybody says about us, and then get pissed when somebody says, you know what, I find that offensive because of the what Japan went through in World War II and after the bombs were dropped. You can't sit there and blast how sensitive
you
are about
can't.
everything, and then complain that
Exactly.
oh, well, oopsie.
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. Come on
No.
now.
Well, no,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Like at the end of the day, do I think it's something worth freaking out about? Absolutely not. I think it was an honest mistake. Am I going to rush to Ubisoft's defense as their own people eat them alive? You know, like Scar with the hyenas at the end of Lion King? No, I'm not going to feel. I didn't feel bad for Scar, and I don't feel bad for Ubisoft.
Amen.
Okay.
Burn,
All right.
baby,
Well,
burn.
well, on that note, I just found it interesting what Vera Dark said. It's kind of along my line of thinking. It's like they spent $500 million on game budgets before, so either they hired dollar store historians or intentionally disrespecting. Now, I understand where she's coming from, and again, this could have been done in good faith or in bad faith. We just will never know. But I think the reaction is wonderful, and I'm kind of enjoying the conversation around it because look, it's not us bringing all this garbage to everybody's doorstep. And as Loki said, people are far too sensitive. Go ahead, Mark.
Now, I'm gonna on what Vera was saying. Vera Dark was saying there.
Mhm.
I think that these historians that they brought in were only hired to say Yasuke was a black samurai.
Right.
They did no other work. That's why everything else about this game is so like putridly not accurate. Any Japanese historian worth their salt would have taken one look at that and been like, whoa, brother, you can't do that. But they didn't, because these historians were brought in specifically and given a check to stand up in front of a camera and say, Yasuke was a black samurai, deal with it. That was their whole job, and it was a one-note moment. Mic drop.
Yeah, I think you're right. But again, I think that lots of good points are being made in the articles being written around this, and this one just it blew my mind. This is from Kit Sun Che. I hope I said their name properly. Ubisoft used an atomic bomb relic for its marketing campaign. This is what DIE money buys. I guess maybe DIE perhaps. Yeah, this is what you get. This is what DIE money buys a company. Yeah.
So we absolutely know that this toy is going to cause a lot of buzz, and we're all talking about how, offensive it is, how they've just stumbled into hot water. But am I the only one here kind of wondering, they're going to have to revise this thing? I doubt they're just going to throw away the promotion. If you guys remember back in like the early 2000s after, the terrorist attacks happened, they had a lot of censorship in media. They would replace, the Twin Towers with like some of the most ridiculous looking buildings they could think of to just try to do everything they can to make sure they weren't going to be insensitive to the tensions and the feelings at the time. I remember Lilo and Stitch, they edited the whole end of the movie to have it go from being in a city to being in like outer,
Same
like
with
more
the end
rural.
of Metal Gear Solid 2. That's why it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly. So I want to know what stupid thing Ubisoft is going to come up with to approve to replace this thing with. I wonder if it'll be as equally
They'll
as...
probably just, honestly, like, unfortunately, I want to be funny, but the only thing I can imagine is that they're just going to make the Torii gate full. That's
Well,
the
I
cheapest-
mean,
that's the
Culture,
cheapest one.
imagine that. Hey, Culture, what do you want us to do with the other half of this Torii gate that we're not going to use? Just throw them in the trash.
Yeah. No, honestly,
months
Of course not made
later.
that way, but yeah, I get the sentiment.
no.
Months
It's
later.
yeah. No, I believe they'll probably change the mold. But the question, so here's the problem, though. I believe that this is a reference to an in-game moment.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So,
It has to be.
Yes.
so Spencer, do you think I'm wrong in my speculation?
I don't know where you're getting that. I feel like that's really out of pocket. So
Okay.
make your
All right.
argument to me.
No, it's just like oftentimes toys are supposed to be reflections of like different moments in games.
Yeah, but we
Like
also know that marketing materials and toys don't always reflect the things that are
It's
actually
true.
in the thing. Like when they did the Amazing Spider-Man toy line, they put a Ben Reilly figure in there, and he's
That's
never
true.
showing up ever again. So
Right. Okay.
Well, I mean,
So
imagine if at the end of the
it was-
game, they're standing there at the end of the game and they're in front of a broken Torii gate, exactly like what's in the statue.
That would make it fine to me because that's a narrative thing. I don't know. Is there a reason for that? Maybe they were in a giant fight. Maybe there was a big war. Like Torii gates exist and Torii gates are going to get damaged. Not all of them are going to be references to that one gate. Just like buildings are always going to be blown up and buildings are always going to be like hit by things, and not all of those are references to 9/11.
Very true,
absolutely.
Spencer. I think that's a great argument there. But I can't help but think back into the 90s, you know, when the Batman Mask of the Phantasm toys were coming out, and how one of the toy for the Phantasm itself revealed who the character was going to be in the movie, because they had the character out of its costume to dress it up. And it could really go either way, but I'll tell you, if this is direct, because they spoil the beans a lot of the time. So I'm with you on your opinion on that, but this could be a lot more dangerous than what we realize. And I don't know if we'll ever know the truth, really, if they were going to do a game moment about that.
But see, I don't know that if they have one that they're even going to bother to be able to change it. See, I'm starting to think that the 5-month window they bought themselves by announcing the delay to the game isn't going to change the game all that much, other than maybe some polishing.
Of course, anybody who thought that this delay was going to make significant changes to the game was fooling themselves. It is 5 months. You cannot scrap an entire game and start over from square one. Like only by time and by business sense. They're not going to throw away all the millions they've already thrown in. That's just nobody's ever going to do that.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping that Tencent has purchased them by then, and they can just scrap the entire game in general, take it as a loss. But we'll see. It's possible.
I don't think they would, because that's too much of an egg on their face in the culture war, and
it won't be their face anymore. It'll be Tencent if they get purchased.
Their name is still on it. Their name is still Ubisoft.
It depends on what they get.
No,
if they get taken over, and
they're not getting taken over. That's the thing.
Spencer is right.
I wrote the article on it. Nobody's buying out Ubisoft. They're going into a partnership where they'll split ownership of what they have right now with Tencent while retaining 51.1% of the company. So Ubisoft is still the owner and the company.
Yeah, anyone that thinks that this game is going to come out and Yasuke is not going to be in it, or they're going to put in this mythical, male Japanese protagonist that was most likely their original idea to go with, like it was reported on a lot of videos that were very good. It's not going to happen. They can't reverse course on this. Like you literally can't. The people that you've already ticked off are not going to forgive you. And all you're going to do is tick off the people that are with you now. And then you'd have everybody against you.
Well, but they kind of already do in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not like they've earned a lot or ingratiating themselves to both sides on this. And the people that they, the people that they've tried to do that with, they don't buy games.
They walked into that door culture. They walked through that door and said, you know what? We want to hang out with a whole bunch of people that'll eat us alive, that'll eat their own. They've kind of asked for this. So they want to live in the world of DEI and ESG and all this BS. Let them live in that world and let them die in that world.
I think you're right. And you know what? This is why I appreciate having panel discussions on this, because we got a lot of different perspectives and some bright minds. So thanks for that.